welcome you all today on this momentous occasion of completion of 75 years of independence, a landmark day in our national calendar. A splendid and historic moment indeed. I extend warm felicitations and congratulations to one and all. The significant occasion is being celebrated as a historic democratic festival, what we call in Hindi as Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. Amid patriotic fervor, the commemoration is showcasing series of events on glorious history of progressive India and is being celebrated in India and overseas with much fanfare. Just recently under the Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, we witnessed a special movement called Har Ghar Tiranga, during which Indians hoisted the tricolor at their home. The tricolor connects us, inspires us to dedicate ourselves to a cause for the country. This is the day to also pause and ponder over the core values that the Constitution propounds. These values, justice, liberty, equality and fraternity, outlined in the preamble of our Constitution, are sacred to all of us. India, with its vibrant democracy, has rightfully earned respect as a responsible and trustworthy nation. Our united resolve, strength and determination to work hard, remembering the memory of our great patriots, will help us to build an India of their dreams as we take the country forward with a pledge to build a new India. It will be the new India, a secure, prosperous and strong nation. A new India where there is equal opportunity for all, where modern science and technology play an important role in bringing glory for the nation in the global arena. It is true that India faces a lot of challenges, but we have the capacity to find solutions. As is customary, we have kept copies of address to the nation by our Honorable President on the eve of 75th Independence Day, and here are the highlights. India is completing 75 years as an independent nation. 14th August is observed as Partition Horrors Day so as to promote social harmony, unity and empowerment of people. Our democracy has Indian characteristics. India adopted universal adult franchise right since the beginning of the Republic. In March 2021, we began our Diamond Jubilee celebration called Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav with a resolve to build self-reliant India, what we call Atmanirbhar Bharat. The lessons learned during the last 75 years will prove useful as we move towards the next milestone in the journey of the nation, the 25 years to the celebration of the centenary of our independence. Our response to the pandemic has been appreciated everywhere. We launched biggest vaccination drive with vaccines manufactured in the country itself. Last month we have crossed the 200 crore mark, that is 2 billion in cumulative vaccine coverage. India has got its act together since then and is moving forward. India is among the fastest growing major economies in the world. Startup ecosystem ranks high in the world. Unprecedented progress has been made in the development of physical and digital infrastructure. All the modes of connectivity based on water, land and air are being integrated. Digital India is creating the bedrock of a knowledge economy. Welfare initiatives like tap water connection, home for the poor, all are reducing regional disparities and growth is becoming more inclusive. I appeal to every citizen to know their fundamental duties and follow them in letter and spirit. The spirit of nation first is reflected in India's standing in the world. India's newfound confidence stems from the spirit of its youth, its farmers and above all its women. When the environment is facing new challenges, we must remain determined to preserve all that makes India beautiful. Yoga and Ayurveda are India's invaluable gifts to the world. Let us walk together with Ek Bharat, Shreshth Bharat to build glorious India. So these were the highlights of Honorable President's speech. The current anticipation of becoming a $5 trillion economy has been prompted by extraordinary resilience shown by our deeply rooted democratic institutions, burgeoning middle class, by our young demography, and huge domestic open market. There was a time when the world used to comment about red tape in India, but now they talk about red carpet. A self-reliant India has made great gains in diverse areas. Let me share some significant ones. India has accelerated the speed and scale of economic reforms, making India an excellent place to do business and to manufacture for the world. With ease of doing business ranking at 63rd place and innovation rank at 48th place. India is now poised to become the 5th largest economy with nominal GDP at $3.5 trillion. India is a powerhouse of talent. On the startups front, again there is record jump. From 3 to 4 unicorns 7 years ago, there are over 100 unicorns today. A unicorn is created almost every week in India. Forex reserves are at about $575 billion. Record FDI is coming to India, $87 billion in last financial year. Financial inclusion of over 85% of its citizens. The JAM ecosystem, that is Janadana Yojana, what we call banking for all scheme, Aadhaar, which gives biometric identity to every Indian, and mobile phone. This has brought about a major shift in the universe of financial inclusion. India has opened more than 450 million bank accounts in the last few years. There are more internet users in rural India than in urban India. There are 350 million internet users in India, rural India, and this is 20% more than that of urban India. India has the highest number of real-time digital payments in the world. 40% of world's digital payments happen in India. India has given free gas connections to more than 90 million women in the last few years. World's largest healthcare initiative called Ayushman Bharat for 500 million Indians have been successfully rolled out. Water for All mission is connecting every house in the country with piped water supply. There is record housing and infra construction. Aspirational District Program is another initiative of India which is uplifting crores of people living in more than 100 districts of the country. National education policy is a huge paradigm shift. The impact of PLI schemes is beginning to be visible on the manufacturing sector, and the entire electronic manufacturing sector, including mobile phones, has grown many-fold. India's Udan scheme has revived many airstrips in the country and built new airports even in distant Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. 66 new airports and over 400 new air routes have been established. India has emerged as the pharmacy of the world. This year is unique for our partnership as we are celebrating 75 years of diplomatic relationship between India and US. Over the last 2 decades, our bilateral relationship has grown steadily in the substance, in facets and significance. There is abiding commitment on both sides for partnership of prosperity. The robust bilateral trade of more than $160 billion is poised to grow further, and both countries can easily achieve the target of $500 billion in coming years with focused efforts. In every sector of our economies, Indian and US companies have made progress, that is from space to semiconductors, from agriculture to pharmaceuticals. Indian and US companies are leading the way. In this era of global economy, the entire world, including USA, is looking at every development in India, big or small, with deep interest, hope and expectations. The economic empowerment of 1/6 of the humanity will drive growth and innovation, not just in India and the US, but for the world. As far as our jurisdiction is concerned, we were established in 2011. We have jurisdiction over 6 southeastern states: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, and 2 exotic ones, Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands. Over the past few years, I have had the pleasure of visiting my entire jurisdiction many times. from Birmingham, a birthplace of civil rights movement, to South Carolina, which has a trade office in India, the only state in the region to do so. Every visit was unique. The visits helped to learn more about the area. The visit helped us in opening windows of opportunities, helped us to raise India's profile, and in influencing India-US discourse, that is to nurture the bilateral engagement. We successfully expanded our outreach across the spectrum significantly. On political front, I held several meetings with political dignitaries, met with more than 70 members of Congress, including senators, all governors, several mayors, commissioners and other dignitaries in the Southeast. Concurrently, it was a delight to work with ACIR. We proudly witnessed ACIR President Mr. Robert Kennedy's participation in India-US Forum in 2019. Each interface was an endeavor to strengthen our existing partnership in the US Congress and elsewhere. It was an endeavor to share positive developments in India. It was an endeavor to nurture the vibrant and vital bonds shared by people of both countries. On economic front, extensive efforts were made to encourage bilateral trade and investment. We assisted and provided support to Indian companies to establish and flourish in Southeast USA and reciprocally to Southeast US companies in India. Overall merchandise trade between India and Southeast region was $14.5 billion in 2019. It was $13.4 billion in 2020, and in 2021, it is $17.8 billion. The trade has sharply bounced back. We conducted over 150 trade, commerce and education related events. We also encouraged states to increase their investments in India's National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. The result is increase in investments by Florida State Board of Administration in India. The skilling model of Atlanta, the CEC Noonan model, has been shared with competent education policymakers, and we are currently working with 2 Indian vocational institutes for possible pilot project in India. We published 2 editions of Business Compendium on Trade and Investments between India and Southeast region. Our Indian companies have established their footprints in every possible sector. Today we have over 160 Indian companies with a total investment of over $13.5 billion. Total jobs created are over 12,000 plus for locals directly. In addition, the Indian Americans have invested over $12.5 billion in sectors like hospitality, retail, healthcare, etc. Indian companies are hiring more and more local people, and their businesses have become an integral part of this economy. Reciprocally, over 100 southeastern US companies are doing business in India. The companies are majorly into computer software, IT consulting and industrial manufacturing in India, and those based in Georgia have the highest share, followed by Florida. On consular front, on an average per day, consulate is issuing 70 plus passports, 80 plus OCI and about 20 plus visas apart from 60 plus miscellaneous services. Ours is the first consulate in India, meaning all over the consulates we have all over the world. Ours is the first consulate to launch chatbot service called DOS HANA. This is a 24/7 digital platform and answers all consular queries. And since the launch of this chatbot in October 2020, the chatbot has responded over 35,000 plus queries in auto mode, and over 12,500 tickets raised by chatbot were responded by the consulate staff official. Since my arrival, we organized 50 consular camps, and we also trained tech-savvy volunteers from Indian community. Through this exercise, we reached out to more than 6,000 people. We have assisted more than 50 emergency situations, provided consular assistance to over 1,200 Indians in distress. During initial COVID lockdown period, we successfully conducted Vande Bharat mission for 600 Indians stranded in this region, evacuated 8,000 plus sailors and 50 students in distress. The consulate has already published a booklet called Junction Immigration, discussing the road to peace and happiness. It's a compilation of unfortunate situations faced by the Indian immigrants that came to its attention and was instrumental in redressing them. The The idea is to provide an all-purpose guide to immigrants on precautions to be taken after arrival in new countries. Special thanks to eminent journalist Ms. Josna Hegde and intern Siddharth Vakde, who helped us in this endeavor. In our jurisdiction, there is a presence of over 400,000 Indian diaspora and over 12,000 Indian students, many in STEM areas. Our Indian American community is hardworking, dynamic, law-abiding and peace-loving. They have deep civic commitment. They are our silent heroes. They are our honorary ambassadors. We proudly saw Dr. Kiran Patel receiving Pravasi Bharatiya Award of 2019 and Dr. Sudhakar Jonal Gadda receiving Pravasi Bharatiya Award of 2021 for their work in medical field. This award is the highest national honor for people of Indian descent residing outside of India. Professor Jagdish Sheth receiving Padma Bhushan Award for the year 2020, India's highest civilian award for his exceptional and distinguished contribution in literature and education. Thanks to Georgia State Capitol for honoring Indian Americans during the 37th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration of Service in January this year. Special thanks to State Senators Emmanuel Jones and Sheikh Rahman. We deeply appreciated the gesture. Let me share some wonderful surprises on two fronts. One in the field of sports and another related to film industry. Cricket. Cricket came to Southeast region. And we handled smooth coordination of T20 matches between India and West Indies at Fort Lauderdale in August 2019 and just recently in Lauderhill in first half of August 2022. There were two matches on August 6, one on August 6 and another on August 7 in Lauderhill. The recent match saw 20,000 cricket enthusiasts at the stadium. The matches on both days created an economic impact of about $35 million to Broward County. This was shared by Mayor in secret with me. Then the Bollywood film industry came here. Alabama hosted Bollywood crew and so also Atlanta and Florida. The crowning glory was a significant part played by our consulate in the historic community summit called Howdy Modi held in Houston on 22nd September. At this event, both leaders, our Honorable Prime Minister Modi and Honorable President Trump, addressed a huge crowd of 50,000 Indian Americans. I am proud to mention that our consulate was associated with smooth coordination of VVIP movements at the NRG Stadium in Houston. The event was celebration of people's power of the world's two largest democracies. Today's milestone of completion of 75 years of independence is very, very important. When we look back, the speed and scale with which India has grown in last 75 years has been impressive. When it comes to technology, science and software, India has shown an age and experience. From tomorrow onwards, the country will enter the golden period, what we call as Amrit Kaal, of its independence, an era of countless new opportunities. During this Azadi ka Amrit Kaal, India has started working on its vision for the next 25 years and to accelerate its progress further. A developing country like ours is working to lift thousands of people out of poverty and working day and night on the ease of doing business and ease of living for its people. The new goals and new successes of the new India of the 21st century will be equally important in this golden journey, what we call as Amrit Yatra of the country. Our determination is firm and our intention is resolute. Team India has taken the resolve to move forward by challenging the challenges. Thank you. Jai Hind.